Good morning and welcome everyone. So thanks for joining us in the first series of Roundtable. Before we start, I would like to introduce all of you to our audience. So first we have Miss A, representative from Consumer. Dr. Lu, head of the Food Technologies team. Officer Nurul from Regulatory Department. And not forgetting our special guest, Aqila, the Director of Merit Silver. So our topic today is about additive-free food and clean label challenges for food technology. So this issue is debated recently as it is one of the most popular trends that drives off the food industrial development. Perhaps additive-free food is not something new, but the interesting part that we will going to focus on is definitely about the clean label. So what is this clean label? Recall back on 18th of July 2016, a group of 7 consumers from the Chicago area were invited into a panel discussions and discuss about a clean label revolutions. And the interesting part is that from the discussions, we found out that about 90% of consumers are actually paying attention to the food product label. But somehow, the outcome of the discussion is that some of them might not know how to read and understand the clean label exactly. And that's why they might have some confusions about what is clean label, what is additive-free food. So what are we going to do today is basically by sharing of your experience or opinions in order to make our audience to be clear and stay updated about what is going on in the food industry and definitely about what is additive-free food and clean label. So let's start with the consumer sides so that we can get to know briefly about what are their points of view. So could you share with us about your opinion, Miss A?
Yeah, for sure. For my point of view, this concept of clean label and additive-free food is no longer a trend, but it is a rule. Generally, we always relate it to the term healthy. Clean labels mean something that is natural or organic, while additive-free food means food that has no addition of chemicals during food processing. Or in short, we can say that the food is chemical-free. This is what we're looking for in the markets nowadays. But different people might have different definition about this concept. Some people might want the product with minimal addition of ingredients or additive, and some might prefer the product with mostly recognizable ingredients.
Alright, Dr. Lu, what is your opinion regarding this concept?
From our perspective, we usually define such product scientifically as chemical-free and transparent label. But we found out that some of them may want natural or recognizable ingredient in their kitchen as clean label, whereas for the additive-free food are something that are free from chemical. Oftentimes, we are facing problem in having similar definition with the consumer, and this has given the great influence toward our food production. How we define it actually does not matter. However, how consumers define it is the most significant challenge that we are facing now.
Indeed is a significant challenges to when the products come to the consumer. So perhaps we can chat through that afterwards. Next, Dr. Aqila, thank you so much for spending your time with us. So have you ever come across with this additive-free food and clean label concept? And what is your interpretation then?
Thank you, moderator. Actually, I'm quite agree with Dr. Lu just now. As a food manufacturer, it is our responsible to know who our consumer is, what they want, and what they look for when they say they want a product with additive-free and clean label. So this is quite a challenge to us as a food producer. However, I found out that this kind of product actually attracted the consumer, as people nowadays are more health conscious and concerned about the ingredients in their food, whether it is healthy or not. This is based on my company's sales record from year 2010 onward. It has been recorded that this kind of product actually has been a cup of tea to the consumer compared to the traditional one.
Alright, thank you so much, Dato. How about, it seems like everyone might have different definitions about this concept. So how about we get some idea or more like a comment from Officer Nurul, since she has so many years of experience in dealing those rulings or maybe dealing with those customers.
Okay, definitely. As for the free additive labeling, the Malaysia Food Act and Regulation has guided it well so far. However, the way of defining the clean label might be kind of tricky because the established definition of what is natural is not clearly stated. So people tend to relate the clean label with natural. So how true it is, we might have no idea about it. Since the term clean label is free for general use, so many manufacturers usually take this opportunity to define the term according to their needs, and they usually use it for only for marketing purposes. For example, the terms such as no additional flavor or no flavor enhancer actually used to deceive the uninformed consumers.
Alright, seems like the idea, sorry for interrupting, seems like the idea is still general. Maybe you can take some general food product from the marketplace and describe it from your point of view in order to make our audience to have a better and clearer image about how does the technique is applied to deceive the consumer.
Okay, just take a fruit juice in the market as an example. Okay, many marketers usually put on the word natural and pure juice to attract the customers to buy their products. Okay, for example, Marigold 100% orange juice. When we check about the list of ingredients used, we found out that the terms used is the orange juice concentrated rather than the pure orange juice. So here is the question: how pure is the juice and how true the clean label is, and does this statement deceive the consumers?
Alright, each coin, I believe that each coin has two sizes. So whenever there is advantages, there must be disadvantages as well. So how do you guys find out about the applications of this concept? Does it has more pros or cons?
As we all know that people currently living a hectic lifestyle, and what are we lacking of are healthy food. Of course, this application will attract our attention, and we like because it lists a simple yet recognizable ingredient on the labels. So it likely to convince us that this product is good and it is healthy. But this simple statement cannot really specifically tell us what are the product or chemicals and ingredients that being added to the food. So, and sometimes we are doubtful about the honesty level of the product that we purchase. Looking at this condition, I think it is more pros for the consumers because the health issue has been highlighted. But how trustworthy the label is will still be a question.
What we like about this concept is that it's actually create awareness among public on their health problems. More than half of the population actually they start to compare and decide on which product they want to purchase. Either the product is traditional one or the one with the clean label and additive-free tagging. So consumers nowadays, they are not just focusing on how convenient the product is, but they also concerned about the long-term effect of the product that may be bring about. Okay. As well as Miss A mentioned before, the statement used to deceive the consumers might become another issue after the health issues.
I believe that the strongest growth area in this trend is in the food and beverage sector. However, as to follow this pace of food trend in food industry development, there will be an increase in production and manufacturing costs, as well as the selling price of the food product. This is a cons to us as a food manufacturer. However, as we follow this trend for a long-term period, we can gain profit as long as the consumers are willing to pay such a high price to get these so-called healthy products.
As the consumer are now more emphasizing more on health and wellness, it leads to a gradually evaluated demand of food products with such clean label and additive-free concept. And to be frank, it gives benefit more to the consumer side, whereas it make our life become so inconvenient. This is because our product ingredient need to be formulated, as the consumer are now demanding much transparency on the manufacture of the food and beverage, about where the ingredient come from and how the food are being manufactured. And so now we are focusing on right now is the trust of the consumer toward our product.
Yeah, I have read through an article from Food Business News, and I found out that Campbell Soup, Nestle, and other many major food and beverages manufacturers have committed to reduce as much artificial ingredient as possible in those popular food products, since this additive-free concept has been introduced. So maybe you can take some example of your company products and explain it more, like how does this product ingredients reformulations affect those food processing line, and does it have a significant effect toward the food labeling as well?
Yes, indeed. One of the most significant recent development is our new product, 100% ultra heat treatment food juice processing. The ultra heat pasteurization, which utilizes high pressure to kill the pathogen without the application of heat, can destroy the taste, the texture, and lessen its nutritional profile. Hence, some common chemicals such as ascorbic acid, which usually known as vitamin C, are needed to establish its nutritional profile. However, we found out that from the view of the consumer, they always think that it is a harmful chemical for them, as they know it's just the natural vitamin C only.
Alright, so far so good, everyone. So I would like to ask about here's my questions. Is there any significant challenges perhaps towards especially towards food technologies, like what challenges that you have come over?
Of course, the problem regarding this practice is that the consumer are not going to read through the scientific report to get to know how the food ingredient work or what the function of the food additive. What they tend to do is just by checking with their friends or family or just the greatest Mr. Google. And so when we are start to approach and communicate with them, and as well as convince them about the ingredient that we added in the product, the harder part that we are facing now is there will be the food, how reliable is the information that are given by us or those that are given by Mr. Google.
Yes, I'm quite agree with Dr. Lu just now. The other significant challenge that we are facing as a food manufacturer is during the food packaging labeling. Let's take an example of my company's product, which is Mary Silver Orange Juice. During the processing of this orange juice, the food technologies emphasize the consumer desire by giving deeper orange color, the juiciness in the orange pulp, and also the retention of vitamin in the orange juice after the heating and pasteurization. It is almost impossible to achieve this kind of quality if we remove the food ingredients such as artificial color and artificial sweetener. Reformulating the product can increase the number of certified organic product in the orange juice, but it has limitation as not all the certified products can be used.
Alright, so that will be in terms of product quality and food labeling issues, as well as the level of trustworthy regarding the informations given by food technology as well as food producer. So how about from the perspective of manufacturing costs?
Oh, In order to manufacture and marketing such product, the larger doses of natural ingredient and the reduction of cheaper additive are being practiced. And it is significant when it comes to those beverages that practice using the more artificial sweetener and color. So we are concerned on now is the selling price of the product to rise or to maintain. Both will bring a significant effect to us, whereby us as the front line of the producer lose the profit or the consumer are willing to pay more.
Seems like the challenges might take years and years to solve or to deal with. So maybe we can do some predictions about its future path. Like, what do you guys think about the applications of this concept? Will it keep on going and gradually become part and parcels, or even the benchmark for all kinds of products when food technologies are producing the products? Or maybe it just fade away as people start to think about like enjoying delicious food when they start to purchasing food product?
Okay, I think it will become more highlighted because perhaps one day in future we might see all the food products in the markets are considered as healthy only if you use this clean label and free additive tagging. However, consumers must be explored and must be more educated so that the statements that used to deceive consumers might not arise as an issue. Okay, I believe that this kind of issue might be thrive if the communication between the consumers and industry related authorities are well developed.
As a consumers, I am also strongly agree that its movement will continue to gain steam for the following years in our food industry. As the information are all on our fingertips, people tend to be more aware now about their health. So we become very careful in our choice of food. Actually, it also good for us to start concerning about this clean label and free additive food, is because it's bring more benefit to us also. But the only things that make us still worry is the scandal which might take advantage on this. So we need to improve the customer alert with the help of government and food technologies.
Alright, seems like both government and consumer agree that this trend will be keep going. So how about your perspective, Dr. Lu and Aqila? And Dr. Aqila?
Oh, I totally agree with that as well. Trend not fair, but maybe we should play our role by sharing and making them to learn to see things from our perspective, such as exploring out of kitchen, as to understand why and what we are added to the food in the last scale of production, so that there is a more flexible in terms of acceptance.
Exactly, Dr. Lu. I think the consumer themselves have to play a role by exploring and investigate more of how different the food processing is in the food industry compared to their home kitchen. For example, adding salt into food is not only for the flavoring purpose, but also for the preservation. However, as I have mentioned earlier, to increase the quality of the food product will lead to an increase in the manufacturing and production cost, that will end up as increase in selling price of the food product. Clean label is not actually a big deal to us as a food manufacturer, but the question is, are the consumer willing to pay such a high price to get what they are looking for?
Alright, I think our discussions almost come to the end. So to conclude, I would like to say that the applications of this clean label, additive-free food and clean label, might be the definitions might be vary according to different points of view, and everyone might have different idea about how is it going and how it should be applied. But when we see in terms of long-term effects, so actually these applications of additive-free food and clean label concept is still beneficial for every one of us. So one word for mine will be communications between food industry related authorities and consumer as well as the governments indeed play a big role in enhancing the development of Malaysian food industry. So once again, thank you so much for spending your time gathered around the table and discuss about it. So see you next time.